Well, it's about 2:20 on Tuesday, January 25th, and I've just come out to do the driveway with the ATV. We had about 5 centimeters of snow last night, so it needs to be plowed off. So I'm going to do that now. Then I got to clean the horses, the stalls out there. So the work never ends here on the farm. Anyhow, I thought I'd just do a few clips of me doing those jobs, in case anyone wonders what it's like to live on a farm. So we got the driveway cleaned out and some of the paths here around the house down to the barn. Now I'm just going out to the barn to clean the stalls. In the winter, we keep our horses in each night, usually, unless it's beautiful weather or something, but they typically come in at night and rest in the barn and keep in the shelter, so that's good for them. In the summer, they're out spring, summer, fall. As long as the weather's good, they're out all night, every night. But the winter gets too much for them here, so we bring them in Here they are now. I just gave them some hay outside. Here's Raven. There's Piper over there. And Colby over here. Hi Pipe, how are you doing? Hi Piper. Hi Pipe, you're such a curious thing, aren't you? Yes, good old Pipe. So we have an outdoor water tank for them in the winter. This is heated so they can come and get water anytime. We have this cover that partly covers it just to help keep it a bit warmer, and they've got insulation down the sides here. So after a night of being in the stalls, you can see they've done quite a bit of pooping in here, so we just have to clean that out each day, which isn't too bad. It only takes about 40 minutes or so to do everything in here, which includes getting the water refilled for the night ahead, some grain in the grain bins here for them, and usually a flake of hay to throw in the stalls. So this is Colby's stall here. So the stalls are basically filled with bedding, at least a few inches deep on the ground, and this is mainly a mixture of pine shavings, wood shavings, and then so it's just a matter of using one of these forks to separate the poop from the shavings, and then it's just a matter of having the right little flick of the wrist here to separate the wood shavings out. It's not too bad, it just takes a little bit of time. Sometimes you'll encounter a real damp area where they've peed and pooped, and then you might want to just get rid of the whole mess of it all, just because the shavings can be quite damp too. Now at this time of year, as you can see here, when the temperature gets really cold, these things can freeze together into big blobs, and that's not too bad. It's just a matter of getting the bigger groups of them out together. You wouldn't think there's much skill involved, but it takes a little bit of dexterity to shake it just right to separate the wheat from the chaff, so to speak. We used to have a radio out here, which was nice. I used to like listening to the music when I did this. Helped pass the time. But as you can see, life on the farm isn't all a bed of roses. There's a lot of work and duties that go along with it. There are some considerations to be taken if you're ever thinking of doing this kind of lifestyle. A lot of these things not only take work, but they take a lot of money sometimes too. Money that you don't always have. So then you question why you even do it, but anyhow. Now it's always a real gratifying experience when you can get a big clump together like this. Makes the job go by a lot faster. The other good part about this is we know we're going to use all this in the following years for compost for our garden. Well, it's a bit of a nuisance to deal with on a daily basis. This will eventually be returned to the soil, which in this area is very sandy, so it needs a lot of amending with organic matter to make it more suitable for most plants to grow in, especially when we get drought conditions where the sand will not hold water. By having this organic matter added to it, it holds the water a lot better. Almost filled up this wheelbarrow load. And I just gotta do Colby's stall. So the horses will lay down in here at night typically on this bedding. They like to take it easy too, probably after a long day of standing and walking around out there for 16 hours or whatever. And in here at night in the winter, it's nice for them to get in out of any wind. And actually in the barn, even when it's quite cold, their bodies do tend to heat it up a little bit. And just the fact there's no wind really helps a lot too. Okay, now we just gotta take this out to the compost pile. Colby stall now. Now it's interesting, some horses are fairly neat in the way they distribute their poops in the stall. Some do them in nice tight piles, like maybe 3 or 4 piles, so you can easily pick them out. This is called picking, by the way, horse poop picking, I guess. Whereas other horses tend to spread it around, or it may vary on the day too, depending how anxious or stressed or how they're feeling generally. I've seen both ways in both sexes, although I can imagine that the male horses probably are typically a little more non-relaxed. They have the added stress of trying to keep the herd together as the overseers of the herd. And I know Colby here, he's very concerned if he gets separated from either of the other horses, whereas it seems oftentimes like they don't really care whether he's gone. It's just him trying to really keep tabs on his herd, his little harem of females that he has. So I think at night, he's quite a high-strung horse to begin with, a bit high-strung, so he probably is a little more restless in his stalls. I don't know if he's always like this, but today all of his stuff is pretty scattered over the stall, so you have to go all over the place to get it. Whereas, well, Raven's was pretty scattered too, but Piper's was sort of several little piles. That certainly helps the picking if they're just in piles, but you can't always get what you want, as the old song says. I hadn't realized it, but they're calling for an extreme cold night again, down to -25 tonight. I thought we were over that for a little while, but it's back again. I'll have to get the wood stove going a bit harder again. There you have it. The stalls are all clean and ready to go for tonight. Horses can come into a nice, warm, dry, comfortable stall. Anyhow, I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you do enjoy them, please give a like and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Maybe tell some people you know that might enjoy this channel and encourage them to subscribe as well. I just remembered I gotta throw some corn out for the night feeders. Various hares and rabbits and other creatures that might come around. So I got my little pail of cracked corn here. Gonna scatter some out under the forsythias here. The rabbits on these cold nights, they like to come out and eat it. I like to help things along if I can. There's 2 feet of snow on the ground. It's a bit hard for these creatures to find anything, I think. The rabbit was already here when I came back from the barn, so they're a bit hungry. A little bit over here at this feeder.